I thank you for being here this week. I love you all. God bless and welcome. Finally, a break in the heat. A break in the heat. I hope my volume is okay. Maybe I'll crank it up a little. I don't talk very loud when I'm recording. I kind of have to stick my head up to the microphone. So anyway, today I was looking up buildings that have been demolished. Oh, that's better. Some of you complain. And I agree. That's much easier on my eyes. And just really shocking, actually. A lot of demolishment. Some people complained about this little window. They said no window. It's too serious. No cat. Cat is very important. So this is just kind of crazy, actually. I'm actually pretty happy that somebody compiled all of this. Okay, I moved the cat. I'm surprised they would demolish anything. Here in 1907, they demolished this church in Manchester, St. Peter's Church. This was demolished. It was part of the World's Fair in Paris. Glass and steel. Why would you demolish this? The Gallery of Machines. Kind of like our World's Fairs. Machines building, transportation building. And here's a art piece showing the construction. An art piece. And here we have a real picture now. Didn't take a real picture of the construction, just an art piece. 1889. Look at all of this. It looks like taking apart, really. Like they're taking apart these machines. And like this was just a big factory, not meant to be a World's Fair. Here we can see the inside of it. The inside of the Palace of Machines. Look at this building. And a lot of people, I don't know why such people watch my channel, but some of those people still are defending the World's Fairs, telling me and us that these are temporary. They are so easy to build. And so what about this? What about this is temporary? And again, this is a demolished building. It's so damn nice. So damn nice. Look at the glass. Pretty much hanging upside down in the dome. It better be a good builder. It better be permanent. I don't know. Today, I guess every day, I really don't know. Look at this. What kind of material is this? I just get this at the Home Depot. Look how he's about to stick this spear in a dragon. Looks like my logo. I mean, this almost seems like metal right here. Are you seeing this? Like these rivets? What is this? So nice. And almost having kind of a churchy feel here. Some stained glass. Temporary World's Fair building. A little mini building on this platform up here. Second story platform. It's like 20 feet up. What else? Again, a drawing. Why the drawing? In my opinion, the drawing is going to be depicting absolute BS. Here they're trying to sell us the fair. Here we go. Like, why would this be interesting to anyone? A bunch of machine parts? And look at this platform. This lends to the idea that I just proposed, that this was a factory, and this was like a moving platform. In fact, oh my god, in fact, oh, I got so excited. In fact, do you guys remember when I showed you the inside of a nuclear power plant? Let me pull that up. Here we go. Here we go. So these are moving platforms right here. These move along. See this person up here on this platform? And let me show you another picture. Here's a better look. So you see this platform can just move along above the pools. And is that all we're seeing here? In any case, some kind of factory. Otherwise, this is pretty stupid. Stupid enough to go walk around the machine parts. Even worse to just float above them. Yay. And what is this? Bunch of men? Here's a woman with plumage in her hat. So pretty unbelievable. Like, this doesn't really seem that nice. It seems like a junk fest. Like they've just gathered all the machines and brought them in here into this factory. And they're gonna display them, charge a fee, and then sell them all off and demolish the building. There you go. Now we have to appreciate this building. This is horse and wagon time. 1870s? Steel and glass? I mean, they just glaze over this. Let's go to the 1920s. So here we have a demolished prison, the Columbus City Prison. It was constructed in 1879 in a castle style. There we go. Designed by an architect. So this man, George Motzel. Oh, George. A German-American architect. Is he AI? This picture doesn't look like a picture. Anyway, let's look at the prison. 1897. Architect, castle, city prison. And again, I don't even buy the castle. I mean, this wasn't a prison, and a castle wasn't a castle. These are smokestacks, venting something. Maybe not smoke, but maybe some kind of exhaust. Here we can see a pipe sticking out of this one. So like maybe they decommissioned machinery, the tech, but here they've left one clue. And again, you can see how burnt they are. You can see how burnt the tips are. Basement window. Look at these kids are peeking in here. Bicycle. Really shabby. Just a shab fest. The crappy awnings. Now I understand the importance of the awnings. They're just so ugly though. Like, if you could build this castle, why wouldn't you build some like permanent beautiful awnings? Some metal work. Not this. Not some shower curtain awnings. Anyway, demolished. Unsuitable for even prisoners. Look at this light adjustable piece. It looks like the stand holding my microphone. Here we can see the rear of the building during the Great Flood. Great Flood. Look at this blockage. This is my blockage. The whole river is lined with old block. Here's another prison in Toronto. It opened in 1873. 336 beds. It reminds me of the pig farm. If you remember the story of the pig farm, and the guy had a beautiful estate with buildings like this, and he housed animals in them. Let me see if I can show you that. Here we go. The piggery. He built the piggery in 1912. A historic farm. Not a good picture of the piggery. Yeah, anyway, beautiful structures here. So here's barn number 1. So this is supposed to be a barn. Brick barn number 1. A barn. Are you believing this? Here's the colt barn. This is for the horses. This one's kind of modest. The creamery, machine barn, and the piggery. The piggery's huge. They're not showing a good picture of it. But you get the point. Very similar to this prison in Toronto. In 1915, the prison was abandoned. In 1920, the main prison building was demolished, and much of the land sold for the railroads. There we go. How about the 1930s? Dent's Fountain. This seems to be all over the place. Pretty amazing, actually. This is in Hong Kong. What a treat. What an absolute... Come on. Look at this. Old world glory. Hong Kong City Hall with Dent's Fountain in the middle. So maybe the City Hall is still there? Look at this. Is this really Hong Kong? Look how abandoned. No windows, dirty, no flowing fountain. I mean, this is abandoned. Hong Kong City Hall. Old City Hall from 1869 to 1933. Here she is in 1875, a different angle. Pretty unbelievable. Look at a peek. Look at all these buildings. Superstructures. Her Majesty's Theatre in Sydney. First theatre, 1887 to 1933. That is a lot to swallow. Old Australia. Here we go. Ye old early horse and wagon Australia, and look at what they built. Again, similar to the cheap awnings, nothing is more telling than the cheap signs. I know I say it all the time, but come on. Look at this junk. This is the ugliest sign I think I've ever seen. ever doing this research. Hotel, all crooked. Couldn't even put a nice backing on it. Just crookedly, unevenly putting these letters up here. Payins Hotel, this must be the name. What a junk fest. Like, childlike. Here we go. The Peyton's George Hotel. This is a disgrace. And like maybe this building was a hotel in the old world. It's so beautiful. So much detail. And here across the street, also a beautiful building. Really weathered. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing Australia. Look at these sidewalks with these large pavers. And anyway, they're calling it a theater. It says hotel. Maybe the theater was just down here somewhere. And apparently it was demolished. 1917. Pretty impressive just to demolish this building with means that we can see these people have here. Big undertaking just to demolish it. Here's a look at the inside. Pretty packed house. A lot of mustaches. A lot of people are sporting mustaches today. So let us take a little pause. Okay. Buildings demolished in 1944. Palace, a palace in Germany, the Prince Albrecht Palace. Here's a little sketch in 1837, and the inside in 1928, demolished. Here is a synagogue in Croatia. I used to buy Croatian chocolate at my coffee shop for sale. They made amazing chocolate, they still do. Anyway, this synagogue was destroyed by the man with the small mustache. Here's another look, really poor pictures. We can see how beautiful it was in old Croatia. Really gingerbready. And this page is really good. Pretty unbelievable to think that some of these were demolished. This one is in Poland. Poland is an old world hotbed. We can see copper, tarnished copper tech up here. And this looks pretty new. I can't imagine this was demolished. It was built in about 7 years. I guess it was destroyed in WW2. But in 1950 they started reconstruction and reopened in 1972. That's pretty interesting. Was it really destroyed and rebuilt? I mean, it was built originally in 7 years, 1897 to 1904. 7 years. And it took them like 22 years to rebuild it. So maybe it wasn't that damaged. A real beauty. This is the Stadt Theater in Germany. It was opened in 1878 for the opera. It was destroyed during WW2. Here we go. Here we go. This is before 1893. Look at this. Look at this wagon. Kind of a sporty wagon with a little cover, a little convertible cover. And this building, just everything. And how established and seasoned everything is. Mature trees, bricks in the street. Honestly, bricks in the street is not what you want if you are using horse and wagon. That's all. I think dirt would be better than a brick street. Lending to the idea that these streets were not made for horse and wagon. And often the truth is we see tracks in the street even before these people have trains or trolleys. Here we can see the damaged theater. This is really interesting. Damaged theater from war, and eventually they would just tear the whole thing down. Here it is now, torn down. I don't know, this kind of looks like it back here too. Just another building, another mind blower. And look how advanced everything is. Towers. This is actually all very modern. Very, very modern. And of course it is. All these buildings are ahead of their time if we were these people. Here's another prison. This one is in France. Built in 2 years. 1749 to 51. Really early time period. It could house 3,000 prisoners. It closed in 1858. This is interesting. This building in France. transmitter was used as an antenna. The last of the towers were demolished in 1953. So this is pretty amazing. Almost reminds me of Tesla's Warden Cliff. This is pretty interesting. The Mir Halls in Warsaw, Poland. 2 identical market halls, constructed in 3 years, and it was basically like a mall. The largest commerce location in the city until 1944. They were destroyed in the Warsaw Uprising. Destroyed and rebuilt is what we're told. Here we can see it rebuilt. Again, I question, was it really destroyed? Look at the tech up here. If this isn't tech, not even hiding it. Pretty amazing building here. And let's look at it back when. Here it is in 1902. Nothing has changed, the same tech. So really interesting. They're BSing us about destruction and rebuilding, trying to help sell the narrative like, oh yeah, we could totally rebuild this. Here it is in 1932. Same tech, same everything, like nothing has changed. Look at this. And so why the big market here and then this little flea market out here in the front? Look at this little junky market. This looks like the market. Why the building? And we know why the building. Not these people's building. This is what they've done. Turned it into a market. I mean, think about your market. It's like there's never been a market this beautiful since. And here it is again today. So actually looking worse today. Looking a lot worse. Look at this junky cube that they've just slapped on the front here. There we go. This is very, very telling. It's not the same people that build this and this. Like, what happened? I mean, we know. I'm just narrating. Maybe for those who don't understand. I mean, is this where we're going? Is this where we're from? Very telling picture here. Very, very telling. The junk in the background. The absolutely ugly buildings. And then also the enormous cranes needed to build the buildings. Things that they just didn't have. Anyway, I mean, this is so old. Before we ever would discover this, they were well underway. I mean, when it comes to demolishing these buildings. Here we are in the 50s. It was demolished in 1953. This old courthouse. There can't be anything wrong with this building. Any of them. Here's the courthouse in 1915. So like nothing changed up until the 50s. Where are we? Old Hillsborough County. I think in Florida. And they say that the architectural style and domes are similar to the Tampa Bay Hotel. Look at the Tampa Bay Hotel. At least it's still standing. Here's another one that was demolished in 1953. This is Dresden, Germany. And part of it was damaged in the war, and they demolished the rest of it. Look at this beast. I mean, more than half of it is unusable. I guess you could have some kind of powwow up here. But really, most events are going to take place down here. So much excess. This whole block was demolished in old Los Angeles. It was demolished in 1953. Look at this. Look at old downtown LA. Look how thin these wheels are. Just so worthless. Here it looks like maybe a French restaurant. Here a machine shop. G.G. Wixon. Look at this beautiful entryway here. So elaborate. Moving on. Miller and Company. Not sure what he's selling. And Chickering Stick. Not sure what that is. 4 businesses here. Maybe a few more up here. Maybe some law offices on the 2nd floor. And ultimately demolished. Beautiful building. And here's the Pure Food Building. Opened in 1922 at the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto. It was demolished in 1953 to make way for a modern food building, which still stands. So here we go. Demolished in 1953. Look at this. A couple of the urns have already been removed in this picture. Tech urns. The food building though? 3 entryways. Cement. Artistic features. The Pure Food Building in 1941. Before repairs. It's like they don't consult with each other when they're putting all this together? They just told us they demolished it in 1953, and in 1941 they still haven't repaired it. They're gonna repair it and demolish it like 10 years later? That is what we're told. Thank God we're not looking for anything to make sense. Some parts are hit and others miss. This one is definitely a hit. The Broad Street Station in 1890. Beautiful 90. The station was demolished in 1953. Here we can see the original station, and here we can see it in 1920, like they're adding to it. So we're told. Here we go. Does this look like a new station? Again, the blocks. You can't move one of these blocks in this wagon. Just one. I'm glad the child is leaning up next to it. Just to put it in perspective, this is not a new building. It's hundreds of years old. Look at the towers. Forgive me. I could do this forever. And I think that's it. Just a little tour. I love a tour. I don't know if this was the best tour, but it was pretty good. Any tour. But for tonight, I thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed. If you think this sucked, let me know what you think I should discuss. But for tonight, I love you all. I'll see you in the next one, and God bless.